All right, so this is gonna be a two-part series here, y'all. The video, well, it's just gonna be a two-part series because it's so long. I didn't mean for it to be this long, but you know, it is what it is, man. I'm long-winded, and all you guys know that. But I believe that this video and these two videos that the next two that I'll be putting up are really good videos for the up-and-comer, and yeah, I mean, probably some pretty good knowledge in them. You know, when I get on these rants, I just yak until I don't feel like yakking no more. So, but there's a lot of good content in these next two videos. So, y'all do me a solid, man. Y'all hit the like button and check them out. And so we can see where we're at, man. Anyway, here it comes. Okay, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Morning's wet, ugly. It's the 4th. Today's Friday, I believe. So we're not working today. We're not doing anything. We didn't do anything yesterday, but we did that job. Y'all saw the video from the other day. So I want to kind of talk today about getting in over your head on some of these jobs, okay? And burning bridges as you're doing that. So we know Mikey over at East Tennessee took on a tree job, and I'll show y'all a little clip from the tree job. You know, and he rented a man lift like I got, exact same man lift that I got, and thought that he was gonna do this tree job. Well, the tree job was really big, and his expectation on, you know, renting a man lift was going to put him in the best scenario to make the most money, you know. But I'm here to tell you guys that a man lift or pieces of equipment they don't do the work for you. You have to be thinking about what you're doing when you're on a piece of equipment like the man lift. Yeah, the man lift can help you do things, but you had to have a base knowledge of tree work. And when I say that, not that I'm the where-all, king-all of tree work, but I have a lot of experience doing tree work. Trimming trees, understanding pressure points and pivot points, understanding weight. And not that I'm, you know, I'm not a professional, you know, tree climber or nothing like that. If I was, I wouldn't need a man lift, okay? Well, I would be not doing a service to Mikey and or a lot of you guys that may watch my channel if I don't say nothing about what my thoughts are on that tree job, and not just the one that Mikey was looking at, but I'm just talking about in general in your business, right? You have to, I don't know, you can't take on work that you're not qualified to do, okay? Because when you take on work like, you know, like Mikey did over there, when he showed that 4 or 5 tree job that he was rented the man lift for, and I'll throw a clip up here in the video. The first thing that I noticed when he did the video was all the power lines on the very first tree he showed, all the power lines running this away and that away, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I'll notice the height of the trees, okay? And I noticed the abundance. They're not just single trunk trees. These trees are pretty big, and there's like 4 or 5 of them. Well, a couple of things. Number one, he never rented a man lift before, okay? Well, there's a big difference in watching my videos and seeing me run a man lift, my man lift, and me being used to what the machine can and can't do. It's imperative that when you are doing this kind of work, whether it's lawn care, landscaping, you know, grading, Bobcat, Mini X, whatever, you have to understand what the machine can and can't do. So Mikey thought, and I hate to say what another man thought, but Mikey was thinking, and you know, nothing wrong with that. This is how you learn. He thought that, well, he's gonna rent a man lift, and after watching a few of my videos, and probably other people's videos, that, you know, the man lift's gonna make all the work easy. And that's simply not true, y'all. It's not true. The base concept of tree work, trimming, cutting them down, trimming them out, notching them, all these things still apply even though you have a man lift. The man lift can just enhance that, okay? That's what the man lift really does. It enhances things to where you can do things a little bit quicker, maybe, a little bit easier, maybe, and a little bit less dangerous, maybe. But you have to have the base knowledge or experience in doing tree work and how things go before you jump on a man lift that you just rented. I mean, if you own the man lift, well, then that'd be different, because then you understand what your man lift can and can't do. If I had to rent a man lift when I did a tree job, nothing wrong with that. Hey, because it is a unique piece of equipment. But if I had to rent one and I didn't use one regular like I do mine, then I would be green at it, dude. I wouldn't be able to put it in the right position. See, when he showed all those trees, and I know what my man, and he had the exact same man lift model and everything that I have, I knew, well, my thinking was, wow, that's going to be a real challenge for him, even with a man lift. Now, and you know, multiply that by 20, because he never rented a man lift before. Then multiply that on, I'm talking about 20 on a difficulty level. Multiply that by 20 again when you don't have base tree knowledge or experience. When I say knowledge, experience, you know, kind of the same thing. You kind of understand. And I'll say it again, you guys, the best tree people, the ones that are the most knowledgeable, are the ones that know when to walk away based on their experience, their equipment, their know-how, their what they do, right? Because when you're doing tree work, it is not something that you can say, oh, my bad, you know, because once that tree hits that angle, it's coming down no matter what's in the way. Once that limb hits that angle, it's coming down no matter what's in the way. It doesn't matter. So you have to have some preemptive thinking to minimize the risk. There is an inherent risk to doing tree trimming and tree dropping. But when I saw this job that Mikey was going to do, knowing his experience level on tree trimming, knowing what a 35-foot, 40-foot man lift can do, and knowing all the technical things that you have to be in the right spot too. And I have a hard time doing that with a man lift, and I own one. I own one for over a year, and I still have a hard time putting the man lift in the exact right spot for whatever job I'm doing based on me looking at the tree or whatever. Sometimes I get it right, and then sometimes I don't. And it is a process to move the man lift around. And it's a process to make sure that you're out of the way of whatever you're cutting. That's a big deal. And if you've never done big tree work, or never worked on a crew that's done big tree work, or never really have any experience in big tree work, then you don't really realize how dangerous everything is until you get 35 foot, 40 foot up in the air in a man lift, and you start seeing how the man lift is moving a little bit, how the tree is moving a little bit, how it's going to go when it drops, or when the limb that you're cutting off falls. You have to be knowledgeable about these things. And I'm not coming down on Mikey for that. Kudos for trying. But at the end of the day, he was not ready for that type of work. Okay? He didn't have a pole saw. You need a pole saw if you're going to do tree trimming work, so you can reach and not be in the way if you're in a man lift. I don't care what anybody says. If you're in a man lift and you don't have climbing experience or any kind of deep experience with tree trimming or tree dropping, then you're not going to be able to take on a job like that with 4 or 5 big trees that are all kind of complicated, dog. All kind of complicated, y'all. I looked at that job when he showed that video, and I'm like, I would not even attempt that job. And I own the man lift. I have some tree experience, and I've owned the man lift for over a year. I would not take on that job. Not to mention the fact, and these are all relevant facts, and again, I'm not coming down on Mikey. Not to mention the fact that I got to haul them out of there, okay? And I don't have a dump trailer. I don't have a machine to load them up onto a trailer. All I have is a lawn trailer. You're not ready for that yet to make money at it. Now, if you were at Mom and Pop's house and they rented a man lift for you to trim a few trees around their house, okay, well, that's how you learn. That's basically how I learned how to run a man lift, and to understand that I can make money with this man lift. When I first rented one back in the day, because back in the day I was a lot like Mikey, but I was a lot more premeditated. I thought a lot more about things before I did them, and I've always been like that. And that's one of the reasons why I've been able to stay in business, is because I don't do things. Well, I don't want to say I don't do things that are sketchy, because I do. I have, and I probably will again, because I'm in this business, and this is just how it is. But taking on a job like that, there's a few things. When you don't have adequate chainsaws, pole saws, and good running saws, okay? And I hate to keep coming back to equipment, but in our business, y'all, equipment is everything, okay? The right equipment for the right job is everything. And true enough, you can make do. You don't have to have a steel 201T, but you might need a 192 T, a small top handle saw. But I didn't have any of those saws when I started. I had a Husqvarna 20-inch 455 Rancher. That's what I had when I started my business and doing tree work. Now, I have a pretty good bit of experience in tree work from when I was a kid. We dropped trees and burnt firewood my whole life. So just with that mere fact, I have been around and have done a lot of trees, big trees, because we would get the big trees and we would split the wood and we would burn it in our fireplace. I grew up doing that, y'all. On and off, from when I was a teenager all the way to when I was selling firewood, back when I started my business. But don't think because you see me or some of these other guys that have been in the business a long time and have evolved that it's easy, okay? Because running a man lift is very, very, it's more time consuming, believe it or not, than a climber. But by the mere fact that you're a climber, climbing the tree with spikes, that tells me all I need to know about your experience. Because if you can climb a tree and you're qualified to climb a tree and rope a tree off and know how to do all the knots and all all the things that a tree climber knows, then you don't really even need a man lift. A man lift is for the guy that has been through all of that, that is not physically capable of climbing the trees no more like that, or doesn't want to. I personally don't even think I'm physically capable of climbing trees with spikes and everything. I might be able to do one, but it's not going to be a day of work doing that crap. That's why I bought a man lift. But getting back to Mikey and this particular job and the psychological effect that it has on you. So you take on this job and you got to haul the trees off, and you don't have a skid steer, you don't have a tractor on site, you don't have a dump trailer on site. You have to haul them somewhere, and then you have to unload them. That is a freaking job. One person, two people are not going to be able to do that job. It would take, for those particular trees, for those particular trees, if I were to do that job, I'm just going to say how I would do it, okay? Just real quick, and then I'll get back into the psyche of everything. So for those particular trees, for that particular job, and I'll show y'all some of a clip from his video. And I'm not coming down on Mikey, okay? But you have to understand your limitations and where you're at right now. Not that Mikey couldn't never be a guy that can handle that type of job, but he ain't there now. And you know, equipment wise, experience wise, and know-how wise, because there's you got to have a lot of know-how to do a job like that and not break nothing, tear nothing up, hurt yourself, hurt the property, or something like that. How I would have approached that job is I wouldn't even thought about doing that job without the man lift, okay? Without some experience in rigging, okay? Maybe not deep experience in rigging, but you need some experience in rigging to do a job like that with all them power lines and the house being right there. Very, very dangerous. And you got to have insurance. I don't know if Mikey's got insurance or not, but I mean, I don't know. I got insurance, and my insurance was elevated. My insurance went up when I bought the man lift. It went up substantially. You know, I don't know exactly how much, but it just about doubled on what I was paying. So how I would approach that job? Well, I would have had to have the man lift, which I own. I would have had to have a dump trailer, which I own. And I would have had to have a skid steer with a grapple bucket, which I own. That's the minimum that I would have had to have. And for that particular job, to make money at it, according to how far away the dump is, I probably would have rented a chipper. See, and that's what I'm saying. You have to build your business in a way to where you got all these supporting tools. So, you know, Mikey rented a lift thinking that was going to get him through the job. Well, I didn't think that was going to get him through the job. I knew it was going to be a whole lot of manual labor based on his experience and his tools. And me and Mikey have talked about it before. You got to have the tools, man, to do these things, man, and so you can make money at it. You can't do jobs like that and not have the right tools and expect to get results. Okay? So I would have trimmed that one tree off the power lines. That one tree, y'all, and the one right here that I'm showing y'all, that one tree probably would have taken me a day to get that tree down on a trailer and hauled out of there. Maybe even longer than that, because it's very tedious. Okay? And keep in mind, I'm not manhandling nothing. I got a Bobcat there. Because I have structured my business in a way to where I want minimize my labor. And it goes back to, hey, Be smart with your freaking money, man. Quit doing dumb shit with your money. Stop it. If you want to be in this business and you want to come on here and do YouTube videos, please don't do a YouTube video when you're sitting over there and ain't even got a freaking chainsaw or a pole saw or your own stuff. And then, I probably would have given the option, given the money was right, and given that the location was more than 10 miles away where I'm dumping at, and how much I got to pay to dump. Okay, that's all a factor. All these problems that Mikey was going to run into on that job, y'all see, if you look at how I do these tree jobs, you'll see that I have already preemptively made those paths smoother by owning the man lift, by owning the dump trailer, and by owning the skid steer, and by having a place to dump. I've smoothed the road for all of that. So if I were doing that job, I would have to go back and I would have to say, okay, I think I'm going to rent a chipper for that job. And see, I could justify renting a chipper because I ain't got to rent nothing else. You see, because the business and the way I've grown the business is in a way that supports, the infrastructure supports these type of jobs. If I want to, I ain't got to. See, I felt like, and I might be, this is just me just thinking, I felt like Mikey back was on the wall and he was gonna, rent a piece of equipment like he sees people do and do that job. But I never thought that he could do that job, y'all, and make money at it, and be able to earn money. Mikey was saying it was going to take him 3 days. Dude, it would have taken me a week, and I got a Bobcat, I got a damn dump trailer, and I got a man lift, and it would have taken me a week. How's he going to pick up the big trunks? Oh, well, Ray, that's easy. He just got to cut them. Right. You got to have good saws to do that, to cut trees that are as big as your waist, and to be able to roll them up on the trailer ramp. And don't forget, you got to roll them off the trailer ramp too when you get to the dump spot. All that takes time. And if you ain't got a crew of 5 or 6 men out there, I don't see how you're going to make money at that job. It don't matter how much you charge them. And then you got to throw on top of that, the owner, well, they're looking out their window and they're, seeing the inexperience of somebody that is not experienced, and that's not a dig on anybody, that's not experienced and not sure about what they're doing. God knows what really happened over there. I have no idea. Mikey says that somebody else put up there and gave him a better price, and he did a video over get half the money down. It doesn't matter if you got half the money down or not, dude. That doesn't matter, because you got half the money down. You do 2 of the trees, then they're gonna send you on your way with half the money. Either way, you get, I can imagine, and this is just my speculation, and I like Mikey, and I'm not intending to put Mikey out there. I'm not intending to hurt his feelings, make him mad or anything. My intention is to say, hey, y'all look at this and y'all learn from this and y'all grow from this. Mikey included, me included. So another guy pulls up over there. This is what Mikey says. Now, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And I've been a contractor for 15 years in this type of work. Not just tree trimming, but y'all know lawn care and everything. Says another guy pulled up over there with another man lift and told the guy that he would do them for cheaper. See, I'm not saying that didn't happen, but there's a reason why the owner did that, if that's what happened. An owner called another tree guy out there because he saw that Mikey didn't have the expertise, experience, or equipment to really do that job. That's what I think happened. Am I calling Mikey out? Well, I don't know. I don't think I am. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings or make nobody angry or nothing. I'm just pointing out what I see based on my experience in this game. And if you're gonna do jobs like that, you don't go from not having a truck to doing a $5,000, $4,000, $3,000, whatever he was charging Dollar Tree job. And 2 weeks ago, you didn't even have a truck. You have to build up to these type of jobs. You have to have the supporting cast. It's like a football team going out on the field, and he's got a quarterback and he's got one O-line. And he ain't got no receivers or nothing. He's all out there all by himself because he hasn't got the structure, the supporting cast to help him out. And when I say supporting cast in this game, it is the infrastructure, the dump trailers, the big trucks. I mean, he was saying that his truck had a hard time pulling the man lift around. You don't need to be doing tree work if that's the case. And I understand you're just trying to get $1, but you didn't get $1, see? You didn't, and you not only didn't get $1, you burned a bridge, and it hit your self-confidence, whether you see that or not. Because when a homeowner or whoever hires you, then and they have to turn around and hire somebody else, well, you just burnt that bridge. You did. And where I'm at, in my location where I'm at, I had rather turn down the work than burn the bridge. There's no way that I would have taken that job on in Mikey's spot. Now, Mikey says he's been doing this for a long time, and and he's doing the landscape work for a long time. And okay, cool. Well, when you're in it for a long time, then you got to build it as if you're in it for a long time. And I understand that Mikey had an accident where he broke his back and he lost all his stuff, and and that's sad. And that could happen to me today. It could happen. But I guess the whole point of me doing this video is not to dog Mikey out, but to learn and to highlight to some of you guys that see, other guys out there, and I'm not talking about just me, other guys out there with a little more equipment than you got, and they're doing these jobs and they're making it look easy. It is not. Don't get it twisted, because it's not easy. And it takes some planning, and I'm not talking about a 3-day planning after you get the job. I'm talking about years of building, man. And you have to go through that, because if you don't, if you grow your business and you're burning bridges all along the way, then you're never going to get enough work to justify or to be able to purchase a dump trailer, a bigger truck, a skid steer, or a man lift, or commercial mower, or whatever. You cannot burn bridges based on your inexperience, because at the end of the day, Mikey didn't intend to burn the bridge, right? Mikey's intentions were great. That's what we want. Step outside your comfort zone. But there is such a thing as stepping outside your comfort zone. Mikey didn't step outside of his comfort zone. Mikey jumped out of a freaking plane, y'all, with no parachute. Unattainable. See? You got to set yourself up, though, for success, right? Not just because of the customer or burning the bridges, but for your own self-confidence, to where you can build and build and build. That job right there, I hope Mikey learned a very valuable lesson. And the lesson ain't make them pay half up front. That ain't the lesson, y'all. So don't get it twisted. That is not the lesson here. That's not the lesson that Mikey should be putting out there, and that's not the lesson that really needs to be looked at here. The lesson is, don't take on work that you're not qualified to do and expect the homeowner to sit there and watch you, you know, through their windows and stuff, seeing that you don't have any experience in it, and when you're doing work that is detrimental to their home, to their property. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So don't make it about they should have paid half up front or get half up front. I'm gonna tell y'all, and this is just me. I know the video's getting a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I get on these rolls, y'all, and I feel like it's good stuff, you know. I have never, in all the years that I have been doing work like that, tree work and lawn care work, I have never gotten half the money up front. Never. Not ever. Because I don't deal with people that are outside my customer base. I have to have a bad feeling that I'm not going to get paid, but I don't ask for half the money up front. I just refuse to do the work. I just won't do it. I'll just pass on the job for whatever reason, you know. But the fact that Mikey did a video over, you know, get half your money up front, that's really not the point to ponder here, and not the thing to learn, you know. If he'd have gotten his money, half of it up front, what does that change, y'all? Think about it for a minute. What does that change? Okay, he gave you half the money up front. What does that change? It doesn't change anything, because they're going to let you do half the work, and then they're going to send you on your way if they feel like you're underqualified. I'm just saying. And if you tell them that you can do the work and you really can't, then you don't really rip them off by getting half the money up front. I'm just saying. Because now they got to go through the trouble of hiring somebody else. You know? And I don't believe that the owners just fired him just because and hired somebody else just because. Why would they? Doesn't make sense to me. Could be right, I could be wrong. I don't know. What makes more sense to me is they saw that he was underqualified, understaffed, and didn't have the proper equipment to do the job or know-how. And they decided this is enough after 3 or 4 days or whatever. And they decided to go with somebody else that has more experience. Maybe not, you know. And true enough, there are some homeowners that get wishy-washy, but 9 times out of 10, once the homeowner agrees on a price and the contractor starts the work, well, the homeowner, and I'm not saying 100% of the time, but I'm saying 95% of the time, the homeowner is going to let is going to let the person they came to an agreement with on money do the work, unless they messed something up, tore something up, dropped a limb on a damn gutter, hit a car, hit a tree, didn't show up, all these things, right? Because it's more trouble to go find somebody else to do the rest of the work than it is to let the contractor finish out what they agreed on. Unless you see that the contractor's not qualified. And people aren't stupid. Don't get it twisted. People are not dumb. They, you know, the homeowner really made a mistake by giving Mikey the contract, really, unless Mikey just snowed him on his know-how, because it doesn't matter how much money it is, because if the homeowner, a homeowner, $3,500, I think that's what Mikey said. We'll just use that number. It may not be that. It may be more than that. I believe he said $3,500. $3,500. The homeowner knew that was a great deal. And I would venture to say the homeowner knew that was a great deal to a fault. Because for those 4 trees to get them out of there, just the 4 or 5 that I saw, to get them out of there is gonna take a, I mean, it doesn't even make sense for where Mikey's at in his business to do that. It doesn't make sense. I mean, he's way outside way outside what he needs to be doing to start the business, build it back up from where he needs to be. We all are in our place. There are people out here in this game that we're in that are so much more advanced than I, and so much more advanced in equipment, technology, wit, intelligence, equipment, everything than me, right? I know that. And I don't, and Mikey's got to know that too. I know where I'm at in my business. If you're going to be self-employed, you got to know where you're at. You got to know where your business is right now and what you're ready to do and what you're not ready to do. And that's, and at the end of the day, getting your money, half your money up front or not, all that's noise, man. That's all that is. Because he was upset, and I get it. Mikey was upset, probably a little embarrassed that he lost the job to another contractor. And I wonder how many trees Mikey got down. I don't see no video, no pictures of nothing of any of the work that they did over there. Did he ever get started over there? Did he get one tree down over there? Nobody knows. You know, he says he did. I mean, okay. If he did, he did. It ain't my business, you know. But I'm doing this video to show that you got to be qualified for whatever jobs you're doing, okay? And you got to have the, and if you don't have the support, y'all see me turn down jobs all the time. I ain't got no freaking labor, man. You need big boy labor over there if you ain't got no equipment. And you got to haul them off too. Oh my God, man. And you all, and you, if your truck is having a hard time pulling the man lift, y'all, the man lift's a fact. The man lift only weighs about 3,500 pounds. If your truck is having a hard time pulling that, well, you need to look at you need to figure some shit out. Nothing wrong with that. I haven't always had this truck, and y'all seen the videos, you know. And I did sketchier stuff than I do now without the equipment. Y'all seen the videos.